I'm here with chapter 14 and 15 today. Chapter 14 is called Ear Trumpet. Corporal Batter hurled Eric out of the exit gate as if he were nothing more than a sack of rubbish. "And don't come back," barked Batter as the boy scrambled to his feet. Eric said nothing. He dashed all the way home. His grandmother would be waking up soon, and she'd be worried about him if she didn't find him tucked up in bed in the morning. However, as the boy turned the corner of the street where he lived, he noticed something strange. So strange that at first he thought he might be having a dream, or rather, a nightmare. The little terraced house that he shared with his grandmother just wasn't there. Instead, there was a smouldering wreck and a gap in the row of houses. The roof had fallen in, and so had most of the first floor. The ground was a mess of bricks, tiles, and furniture. Was that the old tin bath, or the armchair, or the sideboard? All were upside down and blackened by fire. A fire engine was at the scene, but the firemen were packing up their hose. There was nothing more that could be done. A crowd of people stood and stared. Some had their arms around each other, some were sobbing, others were muttering words of sadness. Poor old Mrs. Grout! She'd lived there for 50 years. She didn't deserve this. It would have all been over in a flash. Boom! She wouldn't have known what hit her. I curse that Mr. Hitler. I would biff him on the nose if I had half a chance. It's the boy I feel most sorry about. Oh yes, the boy. He'd only just moved in. That's right, her grandson Eric. What was he? 10, 11? Poor little soul. He had his whole life ahead of him. And he'd lost his mummy and daddy too. Unfortunate wretch. They're all together in heaven now. It was only when Eric reached them that he realised they were talking about him. The boy felt the strangest feeling. It was as if he were at his own funeral. They must think he was buried under the rubble of the house with his poor grandmother, which he would have been had he not sneaked out of bed to help Sid at the zoo. He spotted Grandma's ear trumpet amongst the rubble. It had been crushed, just like everything else. Chapter 15. Curl up into a ball. Eric felt sick to his stomach. He should have been at home with Grandma. Maybe if he had, he might have been able to save her. The old lady was more than a little deaf. She must not have heard the air raid warning. The boy couldn't help but burst into floods of tears. Now, he had not just lost his father and mother in this wretched war, but his grandmother too. Next, he was about to lose his best friend in the whole world. Eric sobbed so hard the onlookers turned and stared. It's him! It's Eric! It's a miracle! Thank goodness! He's saved! They exclaimed. The boy found himself being crowded around, cuddled, and then hoisted high up in the air as if he were a prize at the fair. Being shy, Eric hated it. The little blighter's alive! The boy survived. Praise the Lord! You must come and live with me. No, live with me. I will take the boy in, and I have a cat. He likes animals, said an old man. Loves them. I have a rabbit. We are going to have it for dinner soon. But he can stroke it until we do, exclaimed a tall lady. He can live with me in my sweet shop, suggested a portly man. I'll have to talk him through all the special offers first, though. There we all are, hoisting him up in the air like he's a little prize. The boy tried to smile. These grown-ups were doing their best to be nice. But all Eric wanted was to curl up into a ball and be left alone forever. Just then, a pair of policemen plodded over. Excuse me, began one firmly. The boy needs to come down to the station with us. We will be the ones in charge of finding him a home. With that, Eric was lowered to the ground. Was this your house, lad? Asked the policeman. He nodded, sniffling back the tears. What's your name? It's Eric Grout. The policeman held out his hand. Come along then, Eric. We'll look after you. Don't you worry, said the other policeman. We'll find you a nice home for you. Best to get you out of London, said the first. It's not safe in the city for a little one like you. There are plenty of families out in the countryside who would take you in. I'm sure of it. Eric didn't want to be sent to live with strangers far away. He had to escape and save Gertrude. The boy said nothing, but as they turned a street corner, he shook free of their grip and made a run for it. So he ran away from these two policemen. There he is. Do you think he'll get to Gertrude in time? We will see tomorrow, won't we? Thank you for listening.